For years, Prince William has maintained the image of an exemplary royal calm, dedicated, and silently bearing the heavy responsibilities of the British monarchy. But now, at the age of 41, this prince has finally broken his silence. For the first time, William has spoken out about one of the deepest and most hidden pains of his life, the controversial interview with his mother, Princess Diana. In an emotional statement, the prince asserts that the interview was orchestrated using forged documents. The interviewer exploited Diana's insecurities, planting baseless fears in her mind and weaving a false narrative about the royal family, plunging her into a state of paranoia and severe emotional distress. William isn't just leveling an accusation, he's unveiling a glimpse of the psychological battle he and his family endured behind the glittering facade of the palace. This is more than a confession. It's a powerful declaration that the truth must be restored to the departed, and it marks the first step toward healing wounds that have lingered for decades. So, what has Prince William admitted? What suspicions has his revelation confirmed? Join us as we dive deep into this captivating story in today's video. As a child, Prince William was carefully sheltered by the royal family and adored by people worldwide. But did that protective shield truly safeguard him from profound emotional wounds as an adult? This widely admired prince has publicly acknowledged a truth that many had long suspected, even feared. Could the traumatic events of his childhood, from the tumultuous marriage and devastating divorce of his parents to the sudden death of his mother, Princess Diana, when he was just 15, have left indelible marks for years? Whispers circulated that behind the glamorous royal life, William was quietly grappling with inner struggles. But how accurate were those speculations? And is the truth behind them as astonishing as the public might imagine? Prince William, born on June 21, 1982 at St. Mary's Hospital in London, is the eldest son of King Charles, a central figure in the United Kingdom's most powerful royal family. With such a background, it's easy to assume his life would be a perfect fairy tale, brimming with privilege and glory. But is reality that simple? From the moment he took his first breath, William's life was shrouded in unrelenting pressure and scrutiny. Against this backdrop, his mother, Princess Diana, emerged as a figure determined to reshape royal parenting. She resolved to give William and his younger brother Harry a more grounded upbringing, taking them to places royal children rarely ventured: homeless shelters, AIDS clinics, and even McDonald's. Was this her way of ensuring her sons understood the real world beyond the palace walls? Yet, despite her efforts, did Diana truly succeed in shielding her children from the storms she couldn't control, particularly her chaotic marriage to King Charles? Delving deeper, the relationship between Diana and William reveals thought-provoking details. Beyond showering him with unconditional love, Diana turned William into her confidant, sharing her pains and struggles, burdens that might have exceeded a young boy's capacity to bear. She called him her little wise old man, a nickname both affectionate and indicative of the unusual role he played, not just her son, but her emotional protector. When Diana's marriage to Charles crumbled, William, though still young, bore the weight of his mother's profound sorrow. But could he have anticipated the even greater shock that fate had in store? On August 1, 1997, Princess Diana, the most beloved royal icon of her time, perished in a horrific car accident in Paris. William, then only 15, was at Balmoral Castle in Scotland with his brother Harry when their father delivered the devastating news. How could a teenager in such circumstances cope with the sudden, haunting loss of his mother? The world witnessed William's anguish at Diana's funeral as he walked behind her coffin alongside Harry, King Charles, Prince Philip, and Earl Spencer. The image of the two young princes, their faces frozen in grief, etched itself into the memories of millions. But behind that public moment, what truly unfolded in William's heart? He later revealed that the decision to join the procession wasn't as straightforward as it appeared. Torn and uncertain, he questioned whether he had the strength to face such loss under the world's gaze. It was his grandfather, Prince Philip, who gently encouraged him. "If you walk, I'll walk with you." Was this advice the anchor that helped him endure the most harrowing moment of his life? William later described the experience as one of the toughest challenges he'd ever faced. But the story doesn't end there. After Diana's death, William and Harry retreated from the royal spotlight. They wrestled with their grief in silence for years, never publicly expressing their pain, leading others to believe they had moved past the loss. But was it really that simple? What transpired during that prolonged silence? William later stunned the world by admitting he'd lived in a state of numbness for years, unable to accept or process the departure of the most significant person in his life. What seemed like a shield of silence turned into a festering wound, inflicting profound damage he hadn't foreseen. So, what finally compelled William to shatter that wall of silence? And what do his revelations tell us about a prince's journey through grief? Let's analyze and uncover more. What has the Prince of Wales disclosed about the burden of his mother's tragic death? Do his recent confessions truly peel back an unknown layer of this prince's life? William has openly shared the profound impact of Princess Diana's passing on his mental health and personal path since that fateful moment. Could this admission be a window into an entirely new side of him, one even the closest observers have never fully glimpsed? It raises a critical question. Did his royal status shield him from internal battles? Or did it merely deepen the wounds he tried to conceal for years? He buried his emotions, convinced that showing vulnerability was unacceptable for someone in his position. He threw himself into his studies at Eton College and later at the University of St. Andrews, where he met his future wife, Kate Middleton. But was immersing himself in academics a genuine way to escape his pain, or just a desperate attempt to outrun the ghosts of his past? In a recent documentary, William candidly confessed that the shock of his mother's death still lingers within him. "I still have shock within me. People say it can't last that long, but it does," he shared in BBC One's Mind Over Marathon. What does this admission signify? What does it reveal about the depth of trauma he silently endured for decades? His brother, Prince Harry, added that confronting painful memories is essential, but why did it take William so long to do so? Now the Duke of Cambridge. He told the BBC he had to learn to live with the loss of his mother, though it weighed like a stone on his heart. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he emphasized that the shock remains the most overwhelming sensation he feels, even 20 years after her death. He described it as an unhealable wound, an event so monumental it never fades. He even revealed feeling his mother's presence at his wedding to Kate at Westminster Abbey in 2011. Is this a sign that Diana remains an inseparable part of his psyche, or merely a means of comforting himself amid irreparable loss? What do we see when we examine William's growth through a royal lens? Princess Diana chose a distinctive parenting approach, breaking the monarchy's rigid molds, fostering humility and confidence in William and Harry. But after her death, much reverted to tradition. William attended prestigious institutions, from Jane Minor's nursery to Wetherby Preparatory School in London, and later Eton College. Was this the royal family's way of preparing him for future duties, or an attempt to confine him within a safe framework, shielding him from further harm? He studied at private schools with meticulous tutoring, a deliberate setup to mold him into a future king. But did this academic path truly help him overcome the shadows of his past at Eton? William focused on geography, biology, and art history subjects that showcased his sharp intellect, earning an A in geography, a C in biology, and a B in art history wasn't just academic success. It was evidence of his resilience amid turbulent years. He also displayed leadership, captaining the swimming and football teams and excelling in water polo. But what drove these achievements? A desire to prove himself, or simply a distraction from inner turmoil? Sending William to Eton instead of Gordonstoun, the school favored by his father and grandfather, marked a notable shift. Was this Diana's wish, or a compromise to grant him personal space in exchange for privacy during his education? William had to regularly update his family on his life, all while facing scrutiny from sensationalist media. Did this arrangement genuinely protect him, or did it pile on more pressure to hide wounds he didn't want exposed? The head of the Press Complaints Commission, John Wakeham, ensured that during his university years, Prince William was viewed as a young man navigating a critical developmental phase rather than a public figure or celebrity. This underscored the importance of his academic years. However, William's student life wasn't entirely rosy. He faced challenges, including a severe head injury in June 1991 caused by a golf cart driven by a peer. The resulting depressed skull fracture required surgery at Great Ormond Street Hospital, leaving a permanent scar. Yet his troubles didn't end there. In 1999, William suffered another accident, breaking a finger and necessitating hand surgery to prevent further damage. After completing his studies at Eton, he chose to pursue a military career. During his training years, the official divorce of Prince Charles and Princess Diana unfolded, profoundly affecting William emotionally and mentally. He felt compelled to protect his younger brother and mother from the media. She was failed not just by a rogue reporter, but by BBC leaders who turned a blind eye instead of asking tough questions. He said, William endured his adolescence under relentless public pressure as media attention intensified on the royal family, particularly him and Harry. He credits this experience with shaping his views on privacy and his relationship with the press. Witnessing his parents' marriage dissolve also influenced his perspective on relationships and marriage, leading him to approach romance with caution and introspection. Ultimately, he balanced public duties with his personal life. His parents' separation and its fallout shaped his understanding of his future royal role, while Diana's charitable work inspired him to follow in her footsteps as he matured, breaking the silence and advocating for mental health. In recent years, Prince William has emerged as a leading voice in mental health awareness. Sources say the Duke of Cambridge has opened up about Diana's death and his mental health struggles to end the stigma surrounding grief and mental well-being. In a powerful GQ interview, he admitted that sharing his struggles has been life-changing. He no longer sees vulnerability as weakness, but as strength. He revealed being in a better place than ever before, able to speak openly and honestly about his late mother, recall her more vividly, and discuss her publicly with ease. Continuing his candor, William noted it took nearly 20 years to reach this stage of acceptance and openness. He admitted it's still difficult at times because the pain was so raw. He highlighted how mourning his mother was uniquely challenging, unlike most people's grief. Everyone knew her story and her life. William struggled with the publicity of her death and the tabloid coverage. Silence became his only refuge. But that wasn't all. Not only did they let my mother and family down, they let the public down too. He told GQ. He expressed sorrow that his wife, Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge, and their children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, never met his mother, wishing she could have offered advice, met Kate, and watched his children grow. Undoubtedly, William openly grieved that she'd never experienced these moments and that his beautiful family would never know Princess Diana. He shared this with journalist and politician Alastair Campbell. Yet, he didn't stop at breaking his silence. Alongside Prince Harry and his wife, Catherine, Princess of Wales, he launched the Heads Together campaign in 2016 to dismantle mental health stigma and encourage help-seeking. William has been astonishingly honest about his struggles, hoping to inspire others. He's quoted saying, "Mental health was a huge taboo. If you were anxious, it was because you were weak. But of course, we all are. Few of us talk about it." He also criticized the toxic masculinity culture that hinders men from addressing mental health issues. Since then, William has spearheaded major initiatives like Shout, a 24/7 crisis text service, and Mental Health at Work, a support platform for employees and employers. He's gone further, engaging openly with athletes, celebrities, and mental health experts to foster conversations about well-being. Prince Harry and his grief like William. Prince Harry battled his mother's loss for years. Interestingly, the younger prince handled his grief differently. His approach might shock you and reveal why he differs from William. In a recent interview, Harry admitted bearing his grief far deeper than his brother, making its eventual unearthing all the more agonizing. Therapy, prompted by William, unearthed the immense emotional burden he carried as a boy. The contrasting effects on the brothers may stem partly from their ages when Diana died in August 1997. At 12, Harry was arguably too young to grasp the enormity of the loss, even believing a motherless life was normal. But the most surprising revelation: he's cried only twice since her death, a striking admission amid the nation's outpouring of grief. He wept once at the funeral and once afterward, watching the country mourn. Harry recalled wondering how so many could cry so intensely. His 12-year-old self was baffled that strangers who never met his mother seemed to feel her loss more deeply than he did. The media noted this when the royal family faced initial criticism for staying at Balmoral, appearing detached from public grief. After the Westminster Abbey funeral, Diana was laid to rest privately on an island at Althorpe House, the Spencer ancestral home near Northampton. Though deemed concluded, the pain lingered for the princes. Earlier this year, Harry spoke of suppressing his emotions for nearly 20 years, highlighting the challenge of understanding the psychological toll of such detachment on a young boy. His recent admission of nearing a breakdown in his late 20s resonates powerfully. In an interview, Harry shared craving a child's most basic comfort, a mother's warm embrace. He described Diana as the best mother in the world and a loving hugger. In a rare vulnerable moment, he admitted missing that family element, a void her absence could never fill. He stressed that Diana remains ever present in his and William's thoughts. So why doesn't her memory ease his pain? He revealed that not a day passes without them wishing she were still here, wondering what mother she'd be now, what public role she'd play, and what difference she'd make. Do these questions reflect a profound longing for a future they'll never see? Meanwhile, William's journey weaves privilege with pain. From his early days as a young prince to Diana's tragic death and the weight of royal duty, he's recently turned his pain into purpose. Does his openness about grief and mental health prove he's redefining modern royalty, leading not just with duty, but with empathy, as a devoted husband to Catherine, Princess of Wales, and loving father to Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis? William aims to prioritize emotional well-being in his family and society. But is this ambition feasible within the monarchy's rigid framework? Or just an ideal he's striving for? William's honesty about his mother's death and its lasting impact raises a question: how far has he come from a grief-stricken boy to a man ready to heal? Beyond self-healing, he extends compassion to those enduring private grief, offering solidarity to those with untold stories of loss. What drives him to honor Diana's enduring legacy, preserving her values as an integral part of his life? Is this his way of reconnecting with her or ensuring her lessons endure? Hello and welcome back to our channel, the place where we bring you the latest updates and uncover unique, untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we're diving into a sensational event. Prince William, unable to contain his anger, has issued a blunt warning to Queen Camilla after she was accused of plotting to seize the priceless tiara inheritance of Princess Catherine. A close source reveals that Buckingham Palace is in a state of extreme tension due to an internal conflict over an invaluable family heirloom. The spotlight falls on William's fierce criticism of Camilla, whom he believes deliberately encroached upon a legacy rightfully belonging to his wife. This confrontation has not only ignited a debate over ownership, but also exposed deep fissures within the royal family, leaving many to question the harmony among its members. Does Camilla's actions truly threaten the monarchy's long-standing traditions? And where will William's resolute reaction lead the saga? Join us as we delve into the gripping details of this affair, where loyalty, legacy, and power collide in an unrelenting battle. A recent conflict has erupted, centered on the Cartier Halo tiara, one of the most iconic treasures of the British monarchy, where each sparkling diamond seems to whisper tales of a storied legacy. This tiara is more than mere jewelry. It embodies succession, tradition, and the meticulous passing of heritage across generations. But now, amid mounting concerns over King Charles's health, a shocking accusation has surfaced. Camilla, the queen consort, is suspected of scheming to claim this precious artifact for herself. This move has sparked a firestorm of controversy within Buckingham Palace, pushing internal tensions to a breaking point. Amid whispers of family discord, Prince William has unleashed a chilling warning, viewing Camilla's actions as a dangerous overreach that threatens to destabilize the core values that have shaped the royal family for centuries. With the monarchy at a crossroads demanding stability more than ever, this clash over a historic tiara has captured everyone's attention. Commissioned by King George VI for Queen Elizabeth, later the Queen Mother, and crafted by the prestigious Cartier, the Cartier Halo Tiara stands out with its intricate scrolling design and brilliant cut diamonds, resembling an ethereal halo. Over decades, this iconic relic has quietly passed through royal lineages, only to shine anew when Catherine Middleton chose it as her wedding centerpiece. Catherine's decision was more than aesthetic. It's been analyzed as a meaningful link, tying the legacies of Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mother to the modern fate of the monarchy. Royal historians and style experts note that by reviving this nearly forgotten antique, Catherine sent a powerful message of devotion to tradition. A deft move that resonated with the public's yearning for stability in a time of upheaval. Since then, the tiara has become entwined with her personal journey and the broader story of a monarchy confronting the challenges of a new era. Is Camilla truly disrupting this order? Or is this a misunderstanding amid a storm of power? Let's dig deeper. Camilla Baum, Queen Consort, has undergone a turbulent journey, from a controversial figure to a respected royal. But is this transformation as solid as it seems? She has unflinchingly embraced every facet of her role, often appearing adorned with historic jewels once exclusively tied to Queen Elizabeth. Is this part of a grander scheme to solidify her authority within the institution? Yet, the heart of the current tempest lies in allegations that Camilla is targeting the Cartier Halo Tiara, a treasure many insist should be reserved for the future Queen Consort. Palace sources reveal that her fixation on this tiara is far from random, suggesting a calculated move to expand her sway over the royal collection. By unspoken tradition, items like the halo are set aside for future generations. Catherine's choice to wear it was once seen as a declaration of her destined role, so Camilla's interference could upend this order, a risky precedent that might unravel the principles governing the distribution of royal heirlooms. For Camilla, the tiara's allure is undeniable. By donning jewels once owned by Queen Elizabeth, she not only evokes history but subtly asserts her worthiness of royal symbols. Recently at a state dinner, her decision to wear a sapphire and diamond tiara linked to the late Queen stirred both curiosity and suspicion among royal circles. This bold act, though reminiscent of her predecessor's elegance, has met with fierce backlash. Is it reverence or an overstepping ambition? The saga reached its peak with Prince William's reported reaction. The heir to the throne and often regarded as the guardian of the monarchy's future, known for his unwavering dedication to preserving his wife's legacy and royal traditions, William appears to have erupted over Camilla's intentions. An insider describes his response as stunningly forceful. Quoting him, "This tiara isn't just jewelry, it's a symbol of royal heritage meant for the future." In private talks, William allegedly cautioned that Camilla's actions could pave a perilous path, disrupting the allocation of royal treasures. "We stand at a critical juncture," he emphasized, allowing personal ambition to override centuries of tradition, gambles with the crown's unity and stability. But the question lingers, is Camilla truly crossing a line, or is William overreacting to an unclear threat? William's response gains even greater weight against the backdrop of King Charles's closely monitored health. The king's condition heightens fears for the monarchy's future, turning every internal rift into a focal point of public unease. For William, safeguarding the Cartier Halo Tiara is as much about preserving family history as it is about shielding the institution from turmoil. Could this signal an underground power struggle, or merely a misstep in a crisis? We need to probe further for the truth. The tiara controversy unfolds as scrutiny of King Charles's health intensifies, a matter growing ever more critical as the monarchy's burdens mount. Despite official assurances of stability, Sources hint at unease within the palace over the king's long-term capacity to fulfill his duties. His health serves as a barometer for the monarchy's overall stability. Amid persistent medical concerns, the royal family must project unity. A public spat over a prized tiara is the last thing the institution needs. As a royal journalist observed, every move by family members is magnified in these chaotic times. If internal conflicts spill into the open, they could undermine the crown's core stability. Prince William's resolve to uphold the status quo emerges at a time when every choice faces intense scrutiny. His impassioned warning to Camilla reflects not just his personal commitment to tradition, but a broader call for unity. Personal ambition must not overshadow the monarchy's collective welfare, he reportedly told senior advisors. Infused with personal loss and echoing Princess Diana's enduring legacy, his words serve as a poignant reminder that every historical symbol must be carefully preserved for the future. The debate over the Cartier halo tiara highlights the intricate interplay of human emotion and institutional tradition shaping modern royal life. In the British monarchy, heirlooms are more than decorative relics. They are tangible embodiments of history, status, and continuity. Every piece of jewelry, from the simplest brooch to the most elaborate tiara, carries tales of past grandeur and quiet hopes for future generations. Catherine's choice to wear the Cartier halo tiara at her wedding was widely seen as a potent symbol of continuity, forging a visible link to the legacies of Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mother, intertwined with the family's narrative across decades. The tiara holds profound meaning for her, representing both a personal milestone and a pledge to uphold monarchical traditions. Critics and admirers alike viewed it as a fitting herald of a new era, one bridging a revered past with an evolving future. Yet, should Camilla's alleged efforts to claim the tiara succeed, they could challenge these entrenched conventions. Many argue that the crown intends certain symbols to be passed to future generations to ensure its lasting relevance. Thus, the Cartier halo tiara is not just an item in the royal collection, but an emblem of identity and legitimacy rightfully belonging to the future queen consort, not a queen consort who has already fulfilled her historic role. The ongoing controversy offers a rare glimpse behind the polished facade of royal etiquette. Despite the royal family's outward image of unity and decorum, a meticulous negotiation of roles, duties, and privileges unfolds behind closed doors. This dispute illustrates a larger struggle, a clash between Camilla's established authority as queen consort and the forward-looking aspirations of Prince William and Princess Catherine. Royal insiders note that family dynamics are governed by a blend of tradition, protocol, and an unspoken understanding of roles. The tiara signifies far more than personal adornment. It has been worn by those shaping the modern monarchy's identity, carrying deep historical weight. By seeking to claim it, Camilla risks not only breaching convention, but eroding trust among those who see themselves as stewards of the future. For Prince William, this conflict is deeply personal. Raised with the memory of Princess Diana, a figure whose legacy has both haunted and inspired him, he is keenly aware of the meaning behind every royal act. His response to Camilla's actions, described by insiders as incandescent, reflects a firm belief that historical emblems must be protected for future generations. It pertains to the integrity of our family's legacy. He is said to have declared, allowing boundaries to shift sets a precedent that could threaten the monarchy's core principles as we navigate an uncertain future. As the royal family grapples with internal discord amid waning public trust, the need for unity grows more urgent. King Charles's health, a subject of widespread concern, heightens the stakes. Any public sign of dissent could signal further instability within the institution. In this context, William's warning carries profound significance. His impassioned plea to preserve history and protect the crown's insignia transcends the mere allocation of a single tiara. It concerns the seamless transfer of power and the preservation of monarchical ideals. Every decision must consider the future, he reportedly said. We have a responsibility to safeguard what has been entrusted to us for the institution and the nation. This episode underscores the delicate balance modern monarchs must strike, upholding centuries of history while adapting to a rapidly changing world where public opinion can shift instantly. The Cartier Halo Tiara, with its storied past and deep meaning, encapsulates this dual challenge. The outcome of this dispute will undoubtedly mark a turning point in the British monarchy's ongoing evolution. Palace insiders suggest efforts are underway to resolve the conflict amicably. Senior advisors are reportedly holding discreet meetings to reaffirm the long-standing unwritten rules governing the distribution of royal heirlooms. With King Charles's health a persistent concern, any hint of internal strife could jeopardize his legacy and the monarchy's stability. By reinforcing the traditional view that the Cartier Halo Tiara should be reserved for future generations, the royal family seeks to send a clear message: unity and respect for history must outweigh individual desire. There is no room for deviations from what defines us as an institution, a senior palace official stated. Our heritage is too precious to be subject to personal whims. Prince William's forthright stance is likely to resonate with a public that has long valued the delicate balance of tradition and modernity within the royal family. His determination to preserve the tiara and its symbolic weight underscores his commitment to a future where tradition and progress coexist. As he prepares to assume the full responsibilities of kingship, his message is clear: each emblem and legacy is a thread in the fabric of the monarchy's identity. The dispute over the Cartier Halo Tiara reflects the broader challenges facing the British monarchy today. It embodies the tension between personal ambition and institutional duty, between the desire to innovate and the need to honor tradition. William's stern warning to Camilla is not just a reprimand, but a declaration that the crown's legacy must be protected for future generations. With its radiant history and emotional resonance, the tiara stands as a potent symbol of continuity, recalling the storied legacies of Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mother while representing the future embodied by Princess Catherine. As King Charles faces health challenges, the royal family's ability to resolve internal conflicts while maintaining national unity faces unprecedented scrutiny. William's intervention in the discreet resolution of the tiara controversy may well be seen as a defining moment, a time when the family reaffirmed its commitment to tradition amid personal ambitions. The Cartier Halo Tiara now serves as a powerful symbol of the monarchy, a tangible link to history, an emblem of continuity, and a reminder that even the smallest artifacts can embody a nation's aspirations and ideals. As the nation watches Buckingham Palace with curiosity and anticipation, one question stands out: is the crown's heritage too valuable to be compromised in this storm of challenges? The royal family faces a complex labyrinth, from the demands of modern governance to simmering internal conflicts and unrelenting public scrutiny. What is really happening behind those palace doors? And who will uphold tradition amid this pressure, with King Charles's health under strict watch? The role of each royal in sustaining the institution's strength and unity has never been more critical. Prince William's resolute warning to Camilla rings like an alarm bell. But is it a cry to safeguard the monarchy's integrity or an emotional reaction to a lurking threat? This recent affair isn't just about a dazzling piece of jewelry. It's an investigation into legacy, duty, and the enduring allure of tradition. Signs suggest the royal family is scrambling to restore order and reaffirm its commitment to historic values. But will this effort extinguish the flames of controversy? Their message is unmistakable: unity and a delicate balance between past and present will guide the British monarchy's future. Through every sharp word and deliberate action, the crown strives to prove it honors the past while embracing renewal. From the shimmering facets of the Cartier Halo Tiara to the whispered warnings in palace corridors, the true story of a royal family determined to endure time is slowly unfolding. But can they hold firm against the storm?